everyone, this is Sierra with Something Borrowed Weddings and Events, and my fiance Roy is here to help me tell you guys about our proposal story, so stay tuned. So here's a little background about us. We've been together for 9 years, and we were apart for the first 3 in San Francisco and Cal Poly Pomona at 2 different schools. And then we moved in together and adopted pets, and we've been pretty much going on adventures ever since. And then this past August, we got engaged.
So I really wanted to give Sierra the perfect proposal because it's the only part that I was planning, so I didn't want to mess this part up. But I first started by kind of trying to figure out what she wanted in her perfect proposal. And so that includes the location, who's there, what time of day it is, and that kind of thing. So I first thought about who I wanted it to be there for the actual event. And first person I called was her younger sister. She was leaving for Peace Corps very soon after I, started planning all of this. So I wanted to make sure she was involved. So I called her first, figure out a day that I could do it. And it turned out it was the day after her going away party. So that made it really stressful for me because everyone was there and I had to keep it a secret for however long it was. I think it was a couple weeks, but I had to keep all that a secret. And then the day before it happened, everyone was didn't want them to talk about it. We make sure we have whisper whenever she was over in the other corner or something. But so figured out the day pretty quickly. Then I talked to 2 of our other bridesmaids, so we kind of talked about who her bridesmaids would be, so I kind of had an idea of who to talk to for those. And then I needed to decide where I was going to have it. So there was a couple places I was looking at. I was looking at this one winery that has a lot of lavender, and we use lavender a lot in our first dates and stuff, so I wanted to pick that maybe. But then Bartholomew Park really stuck out to me. We had a couple of our first dates there. There's some photos of it, so we can always make some photo book or something with both venues there or something. But I decided pretty quickly that Bartholomew Park would be the perfect spot. So the day before I proposed, I went out there with one of my good friends, and I gave him my camera, and we went to a few different spots, tried to check out the lighting. It was the same time that it would be the next day that I'd be proposing, so the same lighting would be there, and it's the same location. So we checked it out. We found this perfect spot that's right on the hill. The photographer could be down the steps a couple steps and take photos of everything while it's going on. So that's all the planning that went up to it. Basically, we had to figure out how we were going to get Sarah to that spot, which actually turned out being one of the hardest things because it's really fishy to try and get someone to say walk over to this specific spot at this specific part. So we kind of tried to make it like a wine tour where she was having a wine tour, and then I think in the end they did like a ghost tour or something.
Yeah.
And then walked her around the corner, and I was there ready to go. So what was your point of view on that one?
Well, the ghost tour was freaky. For me, I'm pretty suspicious all the time because I'm ready for this engagement to start. And so I was kind of looking for signs, but I've seen signs before where there were no signs, and so I didn't want to put any stock into the signs that I was seeing. So the morning of, I was getting ready, and my sister and my friends are there, and we're hanging out with my parents' puppies and stuff, and they're vetoing my outfits. And so that was a big clue to me that they're no, not that one, or oh, that one doesn't look good on you. And so that's where I was why does it matter what I'm wearing? It's very suspicious.
That's also why I was really glad her bridesmaids were there, or else she would have showed up in hiking gear and with a hat and everything ready to go. So that's another reason why I'm glad that they were on our side. I didn't really care if she was a little suspicious. I'd rather her look good for all the photos and be prepared, because that's just kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to be perfect. So I think that worked out really well, was getting all of her friends involved, letting them be part of it. And, I didn't tell all of her friends. I wanted to make sure she had some of them to be able to tell, but I just told a few of her bridesmaids and make sure they were there for that experience.
Yeah. Well, after we finally decided on an outfit that I'd actually worn the day before my sister's party, we went to the wine tour and we did a little ghost tour, and I think they were just trying to distract me. And from my point of view, I was suspicious that this was a place that we had one of our first dates at, and it was weird that we had to be at this wine tasting like appointment at a specific time, which was bizarre. But I was like, okay. But I very convinced that if it were to happen, it would have happened where we had like our first date, which is on the other side of the winery. So when we were walking around this corner, I didn't think anything of it other than my friends are dumb and making up this ghost story, and like we're just having this really fun time. But then I turned a corner and Roy was just standing there in like, not a suit, but like a nice outfit with like
I wore slacks and a button up, and it was like the longest wait of my life, because I went up there to that spot, had like already marked it down, ready where I was gonna stand, and her family was down the stairs, ready to go. The photographer was set up, and so I texted her sister, "Hey, come down. We're ready." So then they walked down, and it was the longest wait. I just sat there, and I finally, after a while. I had a little speaker going and just kept playing the song over and over again. Like, when is she going to be here? I need to keep replaying the song. And finally I hear one of her friends telling the story really loudly. I had no idea. I heard them before I saw them. And so then I see her walk around the corner, and she kind of sees me and stops and like shuffles over to the side. And then I see a couple of her other friends, because Sierra was kind of in the back of the pack. And so she's kind of just like walking, drinking her wine, and listening to the story. And then she looked up and saw me, and it was one of the cutest things ever. She kind of like bundles everything up, and then one of her friends took the wine glass out of her hand. She knew to walk me at that point, because there's the music and everything was ready. So I think it worked out really well. And one of the biggest things was planning it, making sure the spot was good, had the photographer ready to go, and I included her friends and family because they were really able to help, and I was really glad that they were able to share that experience with her and me as well.
Yeah. And for me, it was, I don't remember exact details of some things, and I remember very clearly other things, like putting the wine over my face, because I was like, for me, that exact moment, I was in shock of like, wait, what? And so I was holding my friend's glass, and I was holding my glass. So I was, of course, double fisting. I just was like, oh no. I think I said no.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like freaking out. And they were smart enough to take my glasses, and I walked over. And I'm really glad that on all the video you can't hear what you said to me. Only you and I know that, because the music was on and stuff. And then having my family there and be able to celebrate afterwards is a really big deal to me, and to get to share that with everyone was really cool. So that's pretty much our whole proposal story. I'm really glad I didn't cry.
Yeah.
Me too. So let us know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. We are, of course, open to hearing everything you guys want to know and want to ask. It might be about your personal experience or your personal engagement. And we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.